It was a quiet night at McDonald's, and I was going through the motions of my late shift, mindlessly flipping burgers and filling orders. The fluorescent lights flickered overhead, casting eerie shadows that danced along the greasy tiles. The aroma of frying oil and fast food lingered in the air, creating a suffocating atmosphere that clung to everything. As the minutes ticked away, a figure approached the counter. His silhouette was distorted, an indistinct blur in the dimly lit restaurant. I could barely make out the details of his face, shrouded in the hood of a tattered jacket. The man's eyes, though, were piercing, two orbs that seemed to reflect the darkness surrounding him. He ordered a simple meal, his voice a low, raspy whisper that sent shivers down my spine. I tried to keep my composure, focusing on the register as I took his order. His eyes never left mine, an unnerving intensity that made me feel exposed, as if he could see into the depths of my soul. As I handed him his tray, our fingers brushed for a split second, and an icy chill shot through me. The man's touch left a lingering sensation, like a phantom caress that made my skin crawl. I recoiled, but he didn't seem to notice, his attention fixed on the empty tables ahead. As he sat alone in the corner, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The air grew thicker, and the hum of the fluorescent lights seemed to distort into a dissonant melody. I stole glances at the man, only to find him staring back at me each time, a twisted smile playing on his lips. The other customers began to trickle out, leaving me alone with this unsettling presence. The man finished his meal but remained seated, his eyes locked on mine. Panic set in, and I felt an overwhelming urge to escape the suffocating atmosphere of the restaurant. I hurriedly started closing procedures, glancing over my shoulder every so often to find the man still there, seemingly unaffected by the passing time. As I approached the door to leave, I felt a hand on my shoulder, cold and clammy. I spun around, but no one was there. The night swallowed me as I stepped into the empty parking lot, the eerie silence punctuated only by the distant hum of streetlights. I dared not look back, my heart pounding as I walked away from the memory of that chilling encounter. The unsettling feeling lingered, a haunting reminder that some encounters are best left in the shadows. Working at McDonald's was never glamorous, but it paid the bills. Most of my shifts were uneventful, filled with the monotonous sounds of fryers sizzling and the constant hum of the soda machine. However, one night, something happened that made me question whether the Golden Arches were a beacon for more than just hungry customers. It was well past midnight, and I was finishing up the closing duties with a coworker. The fluorescent lights flickered intermittently, casting eerie shadows on the dull mustard-colored walls. The restaurant's interior had a desolate feel, as if it was abandoned and forgotten by the world outside. As we wiped down the counters, a figure appeared at the drive-thru window. It was a man, his face obscured by the darkness and the dim glow of the menu board. He spoke in a hushed, almost raspy voice, ordering a single black coffee. Nothing unusual about that, except for the fact that he seemed to know we were closing soon. As we handed him his coffee through the window, his eyes lingered on us a moment too long. There was something unsettling about his gaze, as if he was peering into the depths of our souls. I shook off the unease, attributing it to the late hour and my tired imagination. But the man didn't leave. Instead, he parked in the empty lot and sat in his car, watching us. I could feel his eyes on me as I mopped the floors, and a chill crawled down my spine. My coworker noticed it too, exchanging nervous glances with me. As we turned off the lights, plunging the restaurant into near darkness, the man finally decided to leave. I breathed a sigh of relief, hoping that would be the end of it. But it wasn't. The next night, he returned, and the night after that. Each time he ordered the same black coffee, and each time he sat in his car, staring at us as we closed up shop. His presence became a twisted routine, a nightmarish ritual that cast a shadow over the mundane tasks of fast food life. One night, as I stepped outside to take out the trash, I heard footsteps behind me. The air turned cold, and a whisper brushed against my ear. "You can't escape me." I spun around, but there was no one there, just the empty parking lot and the flickering lights. The man was gone, as if he had melted into the shadows. The unnerving encounters continued, escalating in their intensity. Strange symbols appeared scrawled on the windows, and unsettling messages were left in the suggestion box. It was as if the man had become a ghostly presence, haunting the restaurant even when he wasn't physically there. I eventually quit my job at McDonald's, unable to shake the feeling of his gaze following me, even in the daylight. To this day, I wonder who that man was and what dark secrets he carried with him. Some encounters leave scars that time can't heal, and the memory of that creepy figure at the drive-thru window will forever haunt my nights. It was a cold, desolate night at McDonald's, and the dim, flickering fluorescent lights barely illuminated the deserted dining area. The rhythmic hum of the fryer and the distant whir of the milkshake machine were the only sounds that dared to break the eerie silence. I was alone, tasked with the graveyard shift, and the minutes seemed to drag on like an eternity. The bell above the entrance jingled, signaling the arrival of a customer. I looked up from my station to see a figure shrouded in darkness, their face obscured by the hood of a tattered jacket. The air grew colder as they approached the counter, moving slowly and deliberately, like a specter navigating the mortal realm. "Can I help you?" I stammered, my voice barely audible above the ambient hum. The hooded figure remained silent, their gaze fixed on me. It sent shivers down my spine, a feeling of unease settling in the pit of my stomach. Without uttering a word, the mysterious customer extended a bony hand, revealing long, gnarled fingers that seemed to stretch beyond the confines of normalcy. In their palm rested a single rusted coin. The dim light glinted off its surface, casting a sinister glow. I hesitated, unsure of what to do. The air felt heavy, charged with an unspoken malevolence. I reluctantly took the coin, its frigid touch seeping into my skin like icy tendrils. As soon as I had it in my hand, the hooded figure turned and vanished into the shadows, leaving nothing but a lingering sense of dread. I tried to shake off the encounter, dismissing it as a peculiar episode of the night. However, as the minutes ticked away, strange occurrences unfolded. The fryer sputtered and hissed, its oil bubbling with an otherworldly fervor. The kitchen lights flickered in a disconcerting pattern, casting ominous shadows that danced across the stainless steel surfaces. As I attempted to regain my composure, the coin on the counter emitted an unnatural resonance, a haunting melody that reverberated through the empty restaurant. The temperature plummeted, and a spectral wind seemed to sweep through the desolate space, carrying with it whispers of indiscernible voices. In the midst of the supernatural symphony, I noticed a face materializing in the condensation on the restaurant window, a face contorted in anguish and despair. I stumbled back in terror, my heart pounding as the ghostly apparition pressed against the glass, pleading eyes fixed on mine. I abandoned my post, fleeing the haunted fast food establishment, leaving the coin and the spectral visage behind. To this day, the memory of that night lingers, a chilling reminder that some encounters are better left unexplored, especially when the darkness within a McDonald's at midnight conceals more than just the mundane.